2012 Father Judge High School Hall of Fame induction. Many seek to evaluate Judge, but only those who know us can truly appreciate our values. The Father Judge High School Hall of Fame award process recognizes graduates of Father Judge High School who have reached a significant level of achievement in their profession or personal lives. Each candidate is a model of quality and high-caliber member of the community who has conveyed what it means to be a distinctive graduate of Father Judge High School. The creation of the Hall of Fame Award became a way for the school and alumni to reach out to graduates and recognize their accomplishments. Candidates are recognized for meeting various criteria in several categories. These may include public service, humanitarian accomplishments, athletics, education, and religious commitment. The Red and Blue Award is given to an oblate of St. Francis de Sales or a layperson who has retired from his or her daily chores at Father Judge High School. The award recognizes the inductee's years of dedicated service to Father Judge High School. The Crusader Award is an honor bestowed by the school and is presented to an alumnus who best symbolizes the spirit of the Crusader. The honoree for this award has achieved a high level of distinction within his chosen field and has brought extraordinary benefits to Father Judge High School and the community. Selection of candidates is fostered by a steering committee that possesses a vast knowledge of Father Judge High School history and alumni. Nominations are made by past graduates via the Father Judge website, email, or U.S. mail. Once a nomination is received, it remains with the committee until induction is recommended. Since the committee was formed, the type of Hall of Fame event format has grown from a school assembly ceremony held in the fall into a prestigious dinner event now held in the spring. Selections for the Hall of Fame induction occur in the previous November of the school year.
The Father Judge Hall of Fame inductees for 2012 are as follows: John E. Kroll, 73, Crusader Award recipient. Chris Creelman, 86, Public Service. George Hanlon, Education, Red and Blue Award recipient. Anthony A. Adario, 64, Humanitarian. Edward A. Clark, 78, Athletics. William Connors, 68, Service to Judge Athletics, Hockey Coach. Reverend Thomas J. Hagan, OSFS, 59, Religion.
Inductees share fond memories of their connection to Judge.
Came back to Judge for a reunion, and I'm not sure exactly which one that was, but caught up with some old friends, Jack Bronkovic, Duck McDonald, Charlie Huckle, and was really impressed with some of the things that were going on at the school. Again, I had been gone from Philadelphia for years, for decades, but was impressed with what had been accomplished, what Father Joe had accomplished. So I got a call from Jack Bronkovic at some point later and asked if I could help out with a project that was being contemplated, and I did.
Coming back to Father Judge and sitting here today was a big part of my family. My family still lives up here, but I do reside in Texas. But the one thing that brought me back was my wife, that we've been fortunate in many ways, and she and Father Joe Campolone talked, and they would always want to give a gift or something, so Father Joe and Pam gave a gift to the school, and we started engaging and having conversations, and you know, we're still talking on a lot of things right now. So I'm just very humbled that Father Judge reached out to honor me in this this role.
I got back to Father Judge by my business partner, Vince Panvini, met Father Joe. I had never met Father Joe. And he told me that he was very different, a great guy, and I should meet him. He's looking for board members. So I called Father Joe, and we met, and the rest is history.
I was in Center City, had an interview with First Pennsylvania Bank, and when I came out, I saw the girls from Hallahan jumping in the fountain at Logan Square. So I said, oh, God, this is the beginning of school. So then I said, I know the Archdiocese has an office here. So it was on 222. It wasn't built then. It was on 17th Street, right around the corner from Hallahan. So I said, let me walk in. I walked in and introduced myself, and they said, wait here. And then they said, this Monsignor is going to interview you. So he interviewed me, and he said, look, it's a guy named O'Donnell, soccer coach, resigned from Father Judge, and there's an opening and he needed a teacher. And he asked me if I could, handle seniors, because it was all senior. I said, no problem. As I said earlier, I can handle platoon, I can handle senior. He said, okay, get up and interview them, And I went up, and if it wasn't for the girls jumping into the pond there and Logan, and I guess I would have never ended up a judge, but that's how I ended up a judge, and I loved it there.
Actually, what brought me back to Father Judge was my job. My boss, she had a designated serve on Father Judge's advisory board, and since I was a Father Judge graduate, she chose me to serve on the board in her place.
I came back to Father Judge. I was coaching a women's ice hockey team. I have a sister that's hearing impaired. And I used to go out on the ice and tell her what the coaches were saying. After a while, the coaches quit. They made me the head coach. I would coach those girls for 8 years. I heard that they needed assistant coaches at Father Judge. So I called some people. I got on as assistant coach for 2 years. And after 2 years, they made me the head coach of Father Judge.
Inductees praise faculty who had a significant impact on their lives.
So my favorite teacher at Judge was not actually a teacher. He was our senior advisor, Father McVeigh. Father McVeigh was probably about 4'8", 4'9", and through some communication with my mother, actually, Father McVeigh took an interest in me.
There's one teacher that sticks out very clearly, and it was Father Eugene Kelly.
My favorite teacher has to be Stan Zaleski, who taught me sophomore English literature. Stan was enthusiastic, entertaining, and he showed up every day wanting to be there. So I would say Stan. I give a good nod to George Hanlon too, who I had George as well. George was a great teacher.
The role model I had was Father John Brennan, OSFS. He was a department head. And he was a gentleman and a scholar, and he knew how to handle the students well, and he had a camaraderie among our department.
My favorite teacher at Judge was probably Father Shannon. I had Father Shannon for French for 4 years. I had Father Shannon for religion. But Father Shannon, I think in those days, there were a lot of things that happened. I think the Space Shuttle Challenger blew up, and Father Shannon would stop his classes. He would stop the religion class, stop the French class, and he would sit and have a discussion about the topics of the day, the things that had happened that were pertinent to the world. And I still remember those conversations. I don't remember much about French class or religion class, but I still remember sitting in those classes and hashing out the different events that were occurring back then.
My favorite teacher would have to be Father Rao. I had him freshman year for religion, senior year for religion, and he became a good friend of mine after I graduated.
Inductees share stories from their time at Judge.
My fondest memory of Judge are the friendships that developed over that period of time, friendships that have lasted 50 years, even though for the past 35 or 40 years I have not lived in Philadelphia. I remember the senior prom, and we had the Duprees at the senior prom. Duprees at the time were a great doo-wop group. My buddies and I were into singing and street corner harmonies and a cappella and such. And so to have the Duprees there for our senior prom was great, just a great, great experience.
Well, the first memory that I have comes to mind is when I was a freshman, my day one, walking up the hill to school, and the school looked ginormous. The coaches were clearly the biggest part of my day in and day out life, and I worked with them. And that'd be Coach Whitey Sullivan, who who gave me a lot of opportunities, and the coach that probably taught me how to throw a football was Bruce Gladhorn, and he was a patient man, and he went with me every day after school and taught me how to throw a football.
My fondest memory of Father Judge was actually celebrating Mass with my classmates, and that generally was around Christmas time and when we were leaving on summer vacation. So it was just a nice time for all the guys to get together, and really, it was what was pretty important to us, I think, at the time.
It was a great experience. I never woke up in the morning and said I didn't want to go to work, and I think very few people have that. My fondest memory of Father Judge is the the game on Thanksgiving when the faculty plays the Senior All-Stars, and it's across the street at Ramp Playground, and it's a great afternoon. The faculty always win, believe me, but what occurred was we went into the faculty room after the game, and we would have a few drinks, libations, and what occurred was Charlie Huckle made a remark to Ray Macco, and Mr. Macco said, "Oh," grabbed Charlie by his ankles, lifted him up, and dumped him in the barrel of ice and beverages, and everybody stood around in awe because, man, we didn't think he was that strong, and Charlie was shocked, and we all laughed, but that was an occasion that was always in our minds and those who were there.
I guess my fondest memory of Judge was, I guess when I went to school there, the football team was in the championship every year, and they used to play it at Veterans Stadium, so my buddies and I would all hop on the L and the subway and go down to Veterans Stadium and sit and cheer, and they were exciting times. One of the funny stories I remember from Father Judge involves George Hanlon. I had George for a history class, and I think it was a business/economics minor, whatever the case may be. And I remember George adamantly telling our class that we would never see the day where the stock market rose above 2,000 points. So I had made a note on the handout, and when we were outside, George Hanlon said, "I forgot my questions, can I see yours?" When it got to the funny story, George saw his name written next to the funny story. He said, "I kind of figured I would be in your funny story."
Fondest memory of Judge would have to be the year we won the Flyers Cup, and we were getting ready to go to state championship. We were in the quadrangle in the back of the school, and every student in the school was either hanging out the windows or in the schoolyard cheering every one of the players and coaches that got on the bus. And I had to get on and off the bus 3 or 4 different times, and every time I get on, I got a great big cheer. That had to be the biggest thrill.
In continuation of Judge's ongoing tradition of success, inductees offer suggestions for students and future graduates.
A message for Judge students today would be to appreciate what you have, understand what you have, recognize the opportunity that's in front of you. I've been able to travel quite a bit in my career, and it just reinforces how fortunate we are. Times may be tough, but the opportunities in front of us are just incredible, like nowhere else.
The one thing I'd like to pass on, probably, that every day someone's maybe feeling like they're alone, or they're not getting supported, or they need help, or they're struggling, but they got to look at there's people right sitting beside them in class who are in the same position, and maybe even worse off. So communicate.
For the young guys at Father Judge today, I would say to realize that you're in a special place, that it's the last time you're going to be in a high school, probably the last time you're going to be educated with all guys, which is a unique experience as well, and that it's just the beginning of learning, and hopefully you've learned the values of Father Judge so that you can take this to the next level and be successful.
I would make a very strong suggestion to the young men coming in the Father Judge now or in the future, is that be whatever you can be. Do the best. It's one of St. Francis de Sales comments. Be what you are, but do it the best way you can.
I think the biggest message I would have to any of the students that are currently attending Father Judge or are going to attend Father Judge is to get involved in something.
Inductees talk about the values they learned from the Judge experience.
The biggest value that Father Judge instilled in me with the Oblates was the Catholic religion, bringing up, and that's just been stuck with me and resonates with me every day. And I appreciate and can't thank the schools, even St. Matthew's Parish, enough for putting us through that.
Doing unto others as you would have them do unto you.
The values I learned from Father Judge, number one, I think, is spirituality. To be humble, work hard, and I think our motto says it all, non excedet, we shall not falter, we shall not fail.
One of the things we did every day before every class was I said a prayer. My God, I give you this action, please give me grace to conduct myself during it in a manner most pleasing to you. I say that prayer every day.
I think the biggest values I learned from Father Judge is that I now that I'm older and now that I have my kids of my own, my daughter goes to Catholic school, I realize how much my parents sacrificed to put me through both Catholic grade school and Father Judge High School. I don't think I could fully appreciate that until I had my own daughter.
The values that I learned from Father Judge, probably from the Oblates, are my Christian values and good faith.
As part of the Salesian values they learned at Judge, the inductees pass on their thanks.
I would like to thank the committee for nominating me for this award. I'm humbled and extremely grateful. Father Joe, who's done such incredible things for Judge. My buddies who I believe are on the board, Duck McDonald, Jack Bronkovic, Charlie Huckle. And then also I need to thank my family, my immigrant grandparents who instilled in us hard work, fair play. My mom and dad, who blue-collar workers, who were always just trying to make a better life for us. And particularly my wife, Bonnie, who really is the one that deserves this humanitarian award.
Clearly my parents, they were committed in putting all 8 of their children through parochial school, which was a feat within itself. And that's one that, as you get older, you really appreciate that. And then my brothers and sisters. My Aunt Mary's here today, which she helped raise us as well.
I'd like to thank Father Campbell, President. I think he's doing a hell of a job. I'd like to thank the committee who nominated me and voted me in, the alumni, the board. I think it's an honor and a privilege.
I'd just like to take a moment to thank the Father Judge Advisory Board, the community, the alumni, especially Father Campbell. Father Campbell and I have been through a lot together. All my friends and family who have supported me through everything I've been through over the course of the past 10 years, and especially my wife and daughter. Thank you very much. And Huck, now you owe me $20.
I would like to thank the entire Father Judge community for electing me for such a great honor. I'm very humbled. The people that were on the committee who picked me, the person who nominated me, I'd like to thank all those people. I'd like to thank all the great teachers at Judge, all the great faculty at Judge, and most of all, I'd like to thank my wife for putting up with me for all these years, missing dinners and school plays and birthdays. I'd just like to thank everyone.
I want to give a thank you to a few people. Number one, to Father Joe Campolone and my fellow board members of Father Judge for this award. I am overwhelmed and very humbled by it. I want to also thank my associates and my friends that have given me great messages. But most importantly, I want to thank my wife, who really is a person that allows me to be on boards and do the work I do. She gave up a great career and took care of our 4 sons. So she's going to go to heaven. So thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Please welcome the Father Judge High School Hall of Fame inductees for 2012.